Thank you for your cooperation. Where are you from?
I'm from France.
Are you visiting here?
Yes, I'm visiting for 2 months.
Okay, big trips. You've been to other places so far?
I went to Seoul before
Seoul.
because I traveled through Seoul.
Did you find some difference between Korea and Japan?
The food. Yeah, I really like both Korean and Japanese food, and it was enjoyable to taste the difference. Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of very reddish color, very strong in flavor, like lots of garlic, lots of spices.
Yeah.
It's like very intense, whereas Japanese food would be more like subtle and more like calm.
Yes. Before this trip, have you been to travel abroad?
Yeah, I've said in many countries in Europe, Germany, Ireland, Greece. I went to Russia also for a few days because France is close to Italy and Spain, and it's very easy to go there too. And also the Netherlands, Switzerland also.
So you've been to Europe, but Europe is kind of like have different culture, roughly dividing like east and west. So you went to Russia.
And also to Serbia.
Serbia.
Serbia, Russia, Macedonia, Eastern country. Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel bigger culture shock when you go to Eastern Europe than when you go to Western Europe?
Oh yes, of course. It's different, especially when you go to the Balkans with all the Serbia. I think like eastern part of Europe is very intense, very strong.
Kind of muscular.
They have a lot to say, and they say it without smiling much. And
when you go to like Italy or Germany, you don't have much culture shock.
Language in Germany, I learned German when I was in school, so I can understand a little bit. And I can read because it's all Latin writing, and so the alphabet clearly plays a role. So it's closer to French than Serbian.
Okay. You've been to many countries. So I think like in any country you feel some small or big culture shock. In which country did you get the biggest culture shock?
I think it's here.
In Japan?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm still in it at the moment. Yeah.
For example, what was your culture shock?
It's hard to go to supermarkets and buy food because food is kind of in different places than in France. Like the way the food is organized in the supermarkets is different. For example, because I eat a lot of Japanese, Chinese food while being here, but I also sometimes I want to feel at home, so I want some European Western taste. And I was looking for some tomato sauce in the supermarket near my home, and it was really hard. I had to go 2 times and do the whole supermarket to find it. And it was like something really basic for me, so it was it's a bit exhausting.
Okay, so you mean like not only because of language, but also the
organization of the supermarket, yes.
Is strange.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Did you like Japan?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I knew I would like it because in France, Japan is very popular. So we have a lot of Japanese culture through manga, food, and all sorts of things. So I was prepared to like it because I already liked kind of what I could have in France from Japan.
Okay, so you experienced the anime manga culture in France?
I don't personally, but I know a lot of people around me, a lot of friends who are very, very interested and passionate about manga culture. Yeah.
Okay, I see. You experienced a lot of traveling around the world. After traveling, did you have some desire to live abroad in long term? Because traveling and living abroad is very different, right? So do you want to live abroad?
I've lived abroad, like in Germany I stayed there 6 months. In Australia I was there for 8 months. Usually what I experience is that when I come back to France, it kind of it rests. It's easier for me to rest. Like at some point I just want to come back home, and I feel more comfortable in France because I know like the climate and how things works, and like the language is easy. So even though I can speak English quite well and live in many places and adapt, I'm always want to go back home in the end.
So you don't have much desire to live abroad in long term?
Yeah, I guess for a couple of months, maybe 6 months, and then I want to come back and then go back. But I right now I haven't felt the urge to go somewhere and live there for 4 years, for example.
Okay. So lastly, what do you want to say to people who want to visit Japan?
Try to learn a few words, and I guess try to have an open mind, and like to come here without too much prejudice and just be open to what's here.
Okay, so it was nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you too.
Thank you for your cooperation. Where are you from?
I'm from France.
France. Are you visiting here?
Yes, I'm visiting.
What brought you to Japan?
I wanted to visit another time because I went there for 2 weeks and it wasn't enough for me.
Okay, so you came here before.
Yes, in 2019.
Okay. Today, I want to ask about your trip because I heard that you've been to many countries. So, firstly, could you share where have you been so far around the world?
I've been to a lot of countries in Europe. I've been to Italy, Spain, Germany, Belgium, also Denmark. I worked there for 6 months. And I've been to North America and French Polynesia and also India.
Okay, many places. It might be a very difficult question, but where did you like the most?
Denmark.
Denmark.
Maybe because I stayed there a long time, but I really like how they live day to day.
Since you are in food industry, in terms of food, which country did you like the most?
I think it's Japan.
Japan?
Yeah, it's really my favorite food.
Okay. For example, what kind of food did you like here?
I tried a lot of different things, and one of my favorite is okonomiyaki. And also, I don't remember the name now. It's like the bowl with the octopus inside.
Takoyaki?
Hi.
Okay. So I think that both of France and Japan have a good cuisine. But could you describe difference of their own cuisine, some feature?
French cuisine is more about big meal. We take times to make a meal. It takes 5 to 6 hours to do something.
Okay.
And I like in Japan the fact that it's easy and quick.
Yes. Which country did you get the biggest culture shock?
India.
India.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was totally different from what I know.
Okay. What was it like in India?
It was crowded. A lot of people everywhere. A lot of colors everywhere.
It is also very crowded here in Tokyo. So compared to Tokyo, it's even more crowded?
It is more crowded and it's more narrow.
Narrow, okay.
Yeah. So here it's there is a lot of space. Even if there is a lot of people, it's okay. But in India, it's very narrow, so you feel it more.
I see. I asked about your culture shock in India. Did you get culture shock here?
I get the culture shock because I think you have a lot of old things and new things that match together. And we are not used to it in France. So that was a shock for me.
Okay.
All the temple everywhere and all the natures, it's very different.
So it was very interesting to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your cooperation. Where are you from?
I'm from France.
France.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are you traveling now?
Yeah, for sure. Since 2 months and a half, and I just arrived in Japan.
Okay. So before Japan, you've been to another countries.
Yes, I was in Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil.
You were traveling around South America and came to Asia, Japan. After Japan, will you go to some other countries in Asia?
Yeah, I would like to go in Vietnam, in Philippines, and in Indonesia.
Okay. So far you have been to Japan and South America, but where did you like the most? Maybe it's a difficult question.
Yeah, it's very different cultures, but I think I prefer Asian culture because it's more subtle, elegant.
Elegant?
Yeah, South America culture is festive, it's like a party, and I love it, but I prefer this kind of atmosphere.
So you are traveling very long trip, right? Why did you decide to go to the long trip?
Because I'm traveling with my boyfriend, but he had 6 months off in his job, and it was our chance to travel a long time, so we take this chance.
Okay, 6 months. Is it possible to take 6 months off?
In reality, he can because he's a teacher, and in France they can have just an half of year working.
I see.
And I finished my job, so for the moment I'm searching for July when I go back in France.
So you mean you quit job?
I had a little contract for a few months, and now I finished it. So
Okay. After experiencing like 2 months trip, did you have some desire to live abroad, to live foreign country?
in France we have La France métropolitaine. After we have some islands in all the world. I would like to live in one of these islands, not in the country,
Okay.
but on an island, because for the moment the country is changing and I don't like it, so I would like to be in my culture but not in the country.
So you've been to Japan and some like Brazil and Argentina and so on, but didn't you get some desire to live in some of the countries?
In reality I tried in Peru for 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah.
It's long.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I missed my country. I love to travel because it's discover a way to escape, but I think finally I always want to be back.
You mean like traveling and living was different?
Yeah.
So what was difficult to live in another country, Peru?
To be far away my family. When you grow up with some things like food, customs, I love to discover the others, but I never find one equal important as my own culture to me.
You want to different environment, but you want to have your customs, so it is better to live in the island.
Yeah, because it's a good mix between traveling and French custom.
Okay. Lastly, you've been to many places and you have experience of traveling. So could you share your tip or advice for traveling?
I travel with a big backpack. I live day by day. For example, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. And my tips is just to forget what you know and just live what you see. Yeah, just live the present moment.
Okay. It was a very great word. It was very nice to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, and I hope your interview will be great.
Thank you so much. ご視聴ありがとうございました。いかがだったでしょうか？動画のご感想やテーマのご要望などコメント欄で教えていただけますと幸いです。たくさんのコメントお待ちしております。チャンネル登録の際は通知ボタンもお忘れなく。